I'm just going to do an in-depth review of this 2007 Japanese Jackson. Now anybody that's ever looked at my channel knows that I'm a fan of the Japanese. After all, those little rascals almost took over the world in World War II. So I have a little country the size of California almost took over the world. And there's a reason why. The Japanese are very, very proficient, intelligent craftsmen. Now, if you look at this Japanese Jackson guitar, you can see that it's got binding on it. These frets are gargantuan. These are very close to the same size as a Dunlop 6000. They're 3 millimeters wide and they're 1.3 millimeters crown height. Okay? And the reason I'm going with millimeters is because it's an efficient measurement system. As Jimmy Carter tried to push it, Jimmy Carter, I don't like his politics. He's a liberal turd-wad. But he tried to get America on the metric system, which we should have done decades ago. But you know what? Americans are fat and dumb, and we just can't change. But at any rate, these frets are huge. And it's almost like playing a scalloped fretboard, because very few places on this guitar neck, as you're fretting, does a string come in contact with the fret or the fingerboard. I have to say fingerboard or I might upset some people. So on this fingerboard, there's very few notes where you can actually press the string down and come in contact with the fingerboard. So in essence, it's the same as playing a scalloped fretboard when you have frets that are like railroad tracks, which is supposed to make it easier for certain acrobatics on a guitar, shall we say. Now this guitar, the body is made of alder. This finish is more than likely polyester, and it's very thick. It's not going to wear off. It's going to be resistant to belt buckles and everything else. And it's not a pointy guitar. I don't like pointy guitars. Never have. Never saw any reason for them. I guess they look cool in the hairband stuff. But a Jackson King 5 will sound no different than this guitar when they both have this pickup, which is the JB, possibly the most popular humbucker pickup in the world. I purchased this instrument from Cash America Pawn with the hard case for $400. And by my interpretation of it, it had not been played very much at all. There was zero fret wear on the cowboy chords, no buckle rash. It was in what I would call excellent plus condition. Not quite mint, but excellent plus. No damage up here whatsoever. That's the first thing you look at is the pointy parts. Okay? Now this is a fantastic instrument. It's very versatile. It's not just a shred guitar. I could play John Denver on this thing. I could play country. I could play blues utilizing this, which is the jazz pickup. But these frets are very big. Like I say, 3 millimeter width. They're 1.3 millimeter height, which is very close to a 6,000 Dunlop fret. These are nickel frets, not stainless steel. But you could do a lot of playing on this and then just re-level them. Lots of meat on those babies. Rock maple neck, alder body. This tremolo system here is the JT580. It's a Jackson knockoff. I haven't had any problems with it. I got the intonation perfect on it. It holds tune. Haven't had any issues with it. There's a close-up view of it. It's a low profile. I was considering replacing it with an original Floyd, but I'm not Joe Satriani or Steve Vai, so I'm not going to be wanking on this thing a lot, on the wank bar. I'm not going to be doing that. This little modification I dipped it in that plastic dip, and it just gives you a better grip on it. Fantastic tremolo system. Haven't had any problems with it. Let's look at the back of this thing, shall we? And I'm not going to do any playing on this guitar. If you want to hear what it sounds like, go listen to somebody that can play really good on YouTube and use your imagination. But it was in pristine shape. I got it for $400. This is a 2007. This is a Fender era Jackson. Fender's done a fantastic job of carrying on the Jackson legacy. Even their cheapo guitars made in Indonesia and different places are better than most Squiers. But this is a Japanese guitar. This is not a sweatshop guitar. And as you look up the neck here, this is straight sawn. It's not quarter sawn. This is a straight sawn maple neck with a scarf joint in it. Absolutely beautiful. These are Korean-made tuners. These are made by Jin Ho Corporation of South Korea. And they're decent quality. Okay? Everything on this is decent quality or exceptional. So this is just a little overview. And look at this beautiful cutouts here. Wonderful. This is not necessarily a light guitar. I would probably say that this is probably an 8-pound guitar. The body's made of alder and it's fairly large. Although the Dinky, a Dinky is a 4/5 size Stratocaster body. If you were to compare this body with a full-size Stratocaster body, it would be 4/5 the size. That's why they call it a Dinky. And I really like that. Wonderful craftsmanship. Look at that. Flip her around again here. But anyway, you can get these. This is a 2007. They made them for 5 years. These were made at the Chushin Gaki plant in Japan. And Gaki in Japanese means musical instrument. That's all it means. You got Fujijin Gaki. You've got Matsumoko Gaki. And there are different companies made in Japan. But the Gaki means musical instrument. But this is a fantastic guitar. You can get these fairly cheap and they're extremely versatile. And this knockoff Floyd is a good knockoff. Good to excellent. It's probably an excellent knockoff. Metal knobs. They have good resistance on them. They stay in place, and it's just a beautiful instrument for very, very little money, and you don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to put new pickups in it. You don't have to monkey with it. You don't have to put a new tremolo in it. You can leave it all alone and play the hell out of it for many years, and it's gonna hold up. That's what the Japanese do. So there's my little review on one of my favorite guitars. And this is a compound radius fretboard. I think it's 12 to 16. So as you travel down the neck here, the fretboard, the fingerboard, gotta say fingerboard or I might get some trolls. The fingerboard flattens out as you get down here, which is supposed to make it better for shredding. So you've got a flatter radius toward the bottom. But this has got the original Seymour Duncans in it. You don't have to replace them with anything. That's the JB. That's a great pickup right there. That's the Jazz. You can do a lot with this Jazz. So anyway, that's a quick review of my $400 Jackson. And I'm telling you what, this thing is built like a tank. It's not a piece of junk. Wasn't made in a sweatshop. You can get these out there. Originally, these sold for between $800 and $1,000. Street price was about $800 back in 2007. In 2008, they went to the dot inlays. Now, these are some kind of plastic that they call Delphin. These inlays here. I much prefer these than dots. So I would recommend you buy a 2007 model of this, just like this. And you can do a lot with this guitar. And you don't have to screw with it. You don't have to replace this. You don't have to replace those. You don't have to replace anything on it. Japanese. God bless the Japanese.